let's see. Okay, one. Let me just. This is a recap reaction. 50 Shades of Grey. All right, couple things. I've never read the book. Let's start there. I've never read the book. One. Two. What made me decide to try to go ahead and watch it? I was watching. Well, I watched. What's the movie with Teyana Taylor? It's a movie with Teyana Taylor. That recently she just got an Emmy for, or something like that, or Oscar. With Leonardo DiCaprio. Whatever that movie is. Okay, let me just. There's a couple things. Okay, that movie. I feel like she could do the female version of whatever the lore. Okay. Never read the book. Also, it's February, and from my memory, I feel like the 50 Shades of Grey movie came out Valentine's Day. Well, I'm not sure about the rest of them, but but I'm pretty sure from my memory, the first 50 Shades of Grey movie came out on a Valentine's Day. It's February. Valentine's Day is this Super Bowl weekend is this weekend, but Valentine's Day is next weekend. So Valentine's Day is coming up. All right. So one is Valentine's Day. Well, Valentine's Day is coming up. This movie, I think, the originally came out on Valentine's Day. I think the first one, I was looking at the years. I think one came out in 2015, one came out in 2017, and so apparently there's three of them. It's a trilogy. It's 50 Shades of Grey. The next one's called 50 Shades Darker, and the next one's called 50 Shades of Freed. 50 Shades Freed or something like that. I don't know. Okay. Anyway, again, I've never read any of the books, but timing-wise, it's February. Valentine's Day is coming up. I remember this came out on a Valentine's Day. So there's that. What's the next one? Then recently, though, there was a movie. I'm trying to remember the name of this movie. I just watched it not too long ago. It also came out not too long ago. But the movie that got Teyana Taylor and Leonardo DiCaprio. Teyana Taylor is only in the beginning of the movie, but she has a very strong sexual character. But she gives the vibe again. Oh, so what I know of this movie is that it's supposed to be one of them dominant sub whatever type of relationships things or whatever. Yeah, I just know it's supposed to get in towards that. I just know that. I've never read the book, but I just know that that's what it's supposed to get towards. I know the girl, Anastasia still is supposed to go ahead and go on, and she supposed. Yeah, it's right now. I'm just in the watch movie to figure out how the whole thing, whatchamacallit. Anyway, so let me see. But whatever the movie with Teyana Taylor and Leonardo DiCaprio, Teyana Taylor has that vibe. She has the aesthetic. She has that very strong appeal, and I think she could definitely do one of those type of roles, like where she could be that dominant, in the relationship, whatever this whole thing supposed to get to. Anyway, okay, so let me go into the first 10 minutes. I only watched the first 10 minutes. So apparently, the way the movie starts off, again, like I know a little bit, but I don't know too much or whatever, right? It's one of them type of things. Now, there's one thing. The movie starts off with him, it shows him of wherever, like, I guess he's supposed to live like this, like, penthouse type of vibe or whatever. He goes for a run. That's first. Early in the morning, go for a run, Gray, you got the gray, and the sweats and the pants and the hoodie. So he goes for a run. He comes back. His tie collection is very, but the way they show his ties and the suits and stuff, he got one of them type of closets where, like, everything is just, everything is just lined up, pressed, and whatever. Like the way it shows it, this half of the closet is just like white shirts already ironed. This half of the closet is like the black blazers, just the black suits and blazers already, whatchamacallit. His ties are all, they're not, well, I guess they're like a slate, darkish gray or whatever. All his ties, they have like very minimalist, not much patterns or anything like that. I didn't, but it's one of them. It's supposed to give it like low key vibe of like luxury, kind of, sort of, maybe. These are just little things I would do a little bit different. Like my tie collection would not be as bland. The ties or the suits or anything. I would still just, but anyway. Um, so let's see, but it is also one of those, like, how do I say this? With it being in such a way, it's one of those. I'm not sure if it's a quote or is it how real it is, but they talk about like Zuckerberg wears a white T-shirt and blue jeans every day, or is it Bill Gates? One of them is one of them little quotes, and it's like they don't waste time thinking about what they're gonna wear for the day. It's the same thing all day, every day. It doesn't matter. Like we're not switching it up, right? So, when I was getting dressed though, when I was doing professional dress, I did have, for the most part, everything is of a. You got your browns, you got not brown. Well, you got gray, you got navy, which you might have a light gray or dark gray. You got navy, black, and got your tans. But for the most part, most stuff is just gonna match or whatever. So for the most part, I could grab a couple different things and it's just gonna match regardless. But with his is really on some. It doesn't matter what tie he wears. All his shirts are white. All his wasn't white. Like his is just everything's just gonna match. It doesn't matter what he really grabs. But even with that, he does like he touches one tie, but he grabs the other one. And it's like, bro, all these joints look the same, bro. So what you call it? It's not the slightest of difference or whatever. So the movie starts off with him getting ready, and then from there, um, it moves to the girl. So you don't they don't really tell you like which girl is which, but you see two girls, and then the one girl, so she's like getting ready, she's getting dressed, and she's about to leave, and the other girl's like, oh, that's what you're wearing, and just like third, boom, boom, okay. And the girl's like, a little less talking, more eating, and then this and the third, boom. So she goes to leave, and she gets in there. The people from wait a minute, the people at the, I guess like the secretaries there, they're like, Miss Kavanaugh, and Mr. Gray will see you now. So it's one of them type of vibes. Like those are the dope janks that you want to kind of sort of see, and like just like whatever type of like just that boss type of mentality. Mr. Gray will see you now. So she gets there, Miss Kavanaugh, Mr. Gray will see you now. Mr. Gray, your 11:15 appointment is here. This and it. Like it's those type of like those are all the vibes that you never really, for the most part, that like some people maybe or may not want to delve into that realm, but some people would or just like to have that mentality. You got your secretaries and your days and your plan, like they handle all your calls and nobody can call you directly, and they're like, oh, you have this appointment, you had like those, like that's just a vibe and it's just real different. But either way, that's how it's kind of like set up. And so the girl, she walks like, this way, follow me. They take her jacket, and so she gets in there. She's wearing like this green. She's wearing like this emerald green, what's that? Like not a cardigan. She's wearing like this emerald green cardigan and skirt. Like they match, and I think it's like floral, on her whatchamacallit. It's like floral on her shirt or whatever. But like her outfit is not really all that whatever. But it's more colorful than what everybody else is kind of sort of wearing. So she gets there, and then they get to the whatchamacallit. So mind you, when she first walked in, they said Mrs. Kavanaugh. Well, they said Miss Kavanaugh, and she responds and she answers to that. However, when she gets into the office, again she was like, no, her name is Anastasia Steele, and so she's filling in for her friend. Now, her friend name is Kate, so that's the one. So in the beginning, like after they went for him, there was the two girls. One girl was getting ready and getting dressed to go to the job. So her friend Kate, because he was like, "Oh, you studying journalism?" And she's like, "No," and she's studying like English literature. So her name is Anastasia Steele. She's filling in for her friend, who technically, if I'm following along, her name would be Kate Kavanaugh, because they said Miss Kavanaugh, but that's who she's filling in for. Her friend's name is Kate. Now, so her initials would be KK. Now, with Anastasia Steele, I think one of the things that kind of like sticks out about her, she has blue eyes, and so of course she's whip, she has blue eyes, and the scene that I seen like up close, her blue eyes aren't whatever, but as they're like doing little certain shots and scenes or whatever, like with her just looking at them or something, like she has some nice blue eyes. You know, If you know why the girls record, if you know why girls take pictures of the duck face, she has nice blue eyes in that sense regard. Anyway, um, so she is filling in her for her friend. So uh, Anastasia Steele is her name. She's not studying journalism. She's studying English or American literature or whatever. And so a couple things she's supposed to be doing. So she starts. She goes to start the. She's supposed to be interviewing him or whatever, like answering questions or whatever. And so when she answers, so first of all, she doesn't have a pen. So first, because first he sits down, and then so she's like, she's getting supposed to get ready to start. She doesn't have a pen, and so she like, so he gets back up, gives her a pen, and then now he's standing in front of his desk, and then he gives her the pen. Then she starts the tape recorder, and then she's like, she asked him, something. I forget what she asked, but then and he was like that he's giving the commencement speech at the ceremony or whatever, and she was like, "You are?" And he was like, and she was like, "Yeah, no." Like so, she's not prepared for the interview. She's just not prepared for the interview. So that's one. And then like the questions she's asking was so mind you, so the whole part of this like it's the I mean, at least it's one of those where it's not saying it, but you. How can you show that she's not prepared to do this interview? And one of the ways she doesn't have a pen. Okay, all right, boom. Then she goes to sit there and start, and then so she doesn't have a pen, and then she doesn't know that he's giving the commencement speech, and she's like, "You are," and she's like, "Oh, I know," and then I forget like one of the next questions. I think she asked a question about something about he has investments in agriculture or something like that. And she was like, "Why?" And he was like, it's a good business move or whatever." And then that's the one I posted. She was like, "Oh, I thought you might have a heart. Your heart might be bigger than what you let on." And he was like, "Some people might tell you I don't have a heart." She was like, "Well, why would they say that? Because they know me well." And it's like, all right, cool, okay, we're there. It's there. And then but there's I forget there was like a oh she was asking him a couple questions. I'm trying to remember what she asked him, but she had said when he responded, she was like, "Oh, so that means you're a control freak." And like there was another one, like she was asking questions, but then she would like reframe it in like a negative way, which is one of them type of things that I don't like. So how do I say this? But it wasn't she wasn't using any of those trendy words, like so, like what annoys me and pisses me off is like, and I said this the other day, like if someone uses okay, there's a couple words, narcissist, misogynistic, avoidant, neurodivergent. When somebody uses projection, when somebody uses some of these certain words, I'm like, I automatically devalue anything that the person says because it's like they're only using this word because it's trendy as of late. Like, so those are like 5 words: misogynistic, narcissist, avoidant, projection, and neurodivergent. Like, I really do not like people who like whatchamacallit. Like, that turns me off when I hear it. So she's not saying stuff like that. But she's saying like he's answering the questions, but I'm saying that in the sense of like he's talking. He'll answer the question, and she'll say something. She'll say like the negative version of it, or the negative side of it, or something like that. And I didn't like that or whatever, right? But you can tell like that's not something that you should be saying in like this interview or whatever. And so she says a couple things like that, and then I just remember one she calls him a control freak, and then another one she says something. She doesn't apologize for anything she says. Like it's so there's this one is like there are certain things like if you have a conversation with certain people, they might get comfortable enough to say certain things to you, and they might you could take offense to it, but they might be talking in such a way that they don't even know that they're being offensive. So she's basically saying to certain things that's like, yeah, you probably shouldn't be saying that to the person that you're interviewing or whatever. So she has a couple things like that. Then she has that part, And then I'm not sure what. Oh, then she asked like, "Are you gay?" And so he's like, "No, I'm not." And she was like, "Oh, well," she was like, "Excuse me, like it's written here in the paper." And she was like, "Kate can be a little," he said, "intrusive." And she was like, "Curious." She said curious, but he was like intrusive. Um, so one of the things is why would Kate put that on the paper. And so, but that was the actual question. She's like, "Are you gay?" And so he was like, "No, I'm not." But that makes him like sit down. So he sits down, and then he starts like talking to her in another type of like. So then he's like, "Well, what about you?" And she's like, "I'm not that interested." And he was like, "Well, what made you?" So he was like, "When you're getting down into, because mind you, her major is English or American literature, whatever. It's something literature, English or American, one of the two. Her genre is literature. So he starts. He's like, "Was it Jane Austen? Was it this person or this person?" He names like three different authors. That he was like, "Which one of these authors made you like pursue, um, your major? That you're it's something literature, English or American literature, whichever one it is." And she's like, she says something. She says a name that wasn't either of the three. I forget what she says though. Maybe Hardy. I think she says Hardy. And then he's like, "I would have thought it was Jane Austen." So, um, that's that right there is one of those. For instance, okay, her saying that her major is English or American literature, right? And then him being able to literally name three different authors, like that would probably be like major authors would attribute to somebody like gravitating towards that field or something like that. That lets you know either one, he has dealt with, you know, people of that whatchamacallit, of that realm, or he actually knows. He's knowledgeable in that sense, type of thing, or like so. It's one of those two. It's one of those two type of things. Either way, there's a ground for whatchamacallit. So um, then, because he's like I want to know more about you, and so from there he said I want to know more about you, and so that it goes to conversation like that, and then the lady walks in and she was like, "Mr. Gray, your next appointment at 11:30 or whatever is," and he's like, "Cancel it," and he's like, "We're not done here. We're not finished or whatever." So when they finish though, he walks into the elevator, and then she goes to get into the elevator. She doesn't realize, like, as she turns around, he takes her paper out her book, and um, yeah, she doesn't realize it. So she gets into the elevator, and then she's like, he's like, "Anastasia," and she's like, "Christian," and so then she walks out, and it's like when she gets out, it's like raining, but she doesn't care. She's like, whew, like she just got out of there, and it's on the third. So um, I will say my only I'm just gonna harp on this one little part because I just kind of sort of it's one of the vibes or the feelings that kind of should be given off in this moment. It, I get that it should seem to be. Okay, the only reference I can give that can give like this example is if you ever seen the movie The Harder They Fall, the first time that you see Idris Elba, he's coming out that black box. It's a you know, um, so I'm just not sure if there's something that could be done with his tone, or I'm just not sure. Like how do I explain? And this is a harp. I'm just harping on this. This is a small knock. Is not whatever. He just doesn't have. You would kind of sort of expect for like the vibe and for that's the vibe or feel that it's supposed to give, kind of sort of maybe, is that he should have like this demeanor that's almost like intimidating. He should have like this intimidating demeanor, brooding. He should give off like this brooding, intimidating demeanor. He doesn't give off that, and this is just a small. This is me harping on the movie and just whatchamacallit, right? Um, but him as a person, he doesn't evoke the like you should low key kind of be scared that you're talking to me right now type of vibe. Um, so that's just that's just a small knock that I just kind of sort of have. Um, if I have to give like another person that whatchamacallit, Harvey, I'm not sure if it's Harvey Specter. No, 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 no. Maybe Harvey. Who's the guy? Um, he has a slightly humorous whatchamacallit, but I feel like he could give the more intimidating, brooding personality if he needed to. There's a show called Suits. I never really seen like it in its entire. Like I haven't watched a whole bunch of episodes, but there's a show called Suits, and the one guy who's like a main character. And have you seen that show that I'm talking about, Suits? He could give the brooding, intimidating character more than the guy who's currently playing the role of Christian Grey. So um, that was the first 10 minutes. First 10 minutes is just that. Um, what's the guy? So the girl, Anastasia Steele, she goes to take this interview that her friend Kate Kavanaugh is supposed to do. I'm not sure why she doesn't do it. I think another thing is that um, Mr. Gray asked her. He asked, well, what are her plans after graduating? And she's like, well, she was looking to just move to Seattle to live with Kate. And he was like, we have a internship program here. And she was like, I don't think I fit in here. She's like, look at me. He was like, I am. And, that makes her feel whatever. So those are just some whatchamacallits. Now, now I know good as well. Now he took that paper, right? So I only watched the first 10 minutes. She's on her way home now, but he took that paper from her and she didn't notice it. So I'm just hoping that she didn't just like it would be. This would be a little too easy. Like if she wrote something that alluded to her like attraction to him on that paper, that would be just like, are you serious, bro? You supposed to be interviewing and this what you did? So he took that little piece of paper though. She didn't notice it. So she's a little absent-minded. Or maybe it was a setting or whatever. But those are the little knickknacks that they're trying to, low key. I guess you could low key say that they're trying to portray. She she wasn't prepared. Journalism isn't her thing. So there was no part of this where she prepared. Him taking that paper from her is just like, son, did you not? So she's not that very aware. And again, maybe it could be doing him. She might have a certain but it doesn't. There's a couple of things like her when she gets out of the thing, she's like, she's just standing in the rain and she looks up like type of thing. Like so she gives off this feeling like, oh goodness, like she's just out of there, right? But her little I'm gonna just say slit or snide comments that she was making during the interview, which she shouldn't have been making, that you would say like, all right, these aren't things that you should be saying. Those don't give like that she was scared of him or that she was like intimidated by him. So I'm really not sure as far as like how again like there's a lore of the movie. Like I kind of sort of know certain things. I never read the book or anything like that. So I'm not sure exactly, how she. I know that they're going to get together and stuff like that. I know that, but I don't know exactly how she's supposed to feel right about now. I don't know how she technically feels right about now towards him. I don't know how she technically feels right about towards him. So she's on the way home. This is the first 10 minutes, and I'm going to continue watching, and we'll see what goes from here. But so far, I'm looking to see where does this go and see what happens. We'll see what go. Well, I know I don't know.